I've been married for 13 years now, and my wife has made very clear that she prefers that I be faithful. Some days when I'm forgetful and I leave the house and I don't have my ring with me, my wife gives me grief. Because every woman knows that she wants her husband to be faithful. In fact, every man wants his wife to be faithful if he's married. Fidelity is such a huge value for us because we know what happens when people aren't faithful. I'm not sure if you've ever been cheated on before or had a loved one who has been, but you know how devastating it can be, the lack of trust, the devastation emotionally. Adultery kills a relationship. And that's why James uses those same words. He says in such direct language, "You adulterous people, don't you know that friendship with the world means enmity or hostility or hatred towards God?" Why does James speak like that? Instead of saying you people have broken the law, he says you people have broken God's heart. Well, it's because James wants you to know what sin feels like to God. When we fall into sin, it's like coming home and God's waiting on the couch with tears on his face, and he knows that we have been running around with the world. He knows that for some reason this relationship isn't good enough for us and we're looking for something more. James says, do you know what this feels like to God? Sin isn't a little slip. Well, nobody's perfect. We're only human. No, sin is like cheating on your partner, cheating on your spouse, like cheating on God. But you know the most amazing thing is that James says just a verse later, but God gives us more grace. When you walk through the door and you're just ashamed and you assume the relationship should be done, that God would never take you back, do you know what he does? He gives you more grace. He gives you love that you simply do not deserve. He keeps the ring on his finger. It's like this guy whose wife cheated on him once. She remembered back to the day of their wedding when he looked at her as she walked down the aisle. His face was beaming with love. Tears were in his eyes, but then she cheated. A year into her relationship, and she came home and she blurted out this confession, so ashamed. She didn't know how it happened, but it did. And her husband didn't say a word. Instead, he went upstairs, and a minute later, he came back down with her wedding dress. And quietly, without saying a single sentence, he put the wedding dress on his wife. He stepped back, and she saw it. That same expression that she saw on his face when he walked down the aisle was on his face in that moment. And he said to her, "This is grace." Now, I don't know any guy that's ever treated a woman quite like that, but I know a God who does. So the next time you walk through the door and you assume that it's over with you and God, you're too bad, the relationship is done, you remember this, that God gives us more grace. Was today's message a blessing to you in your walk with God? We'd love for you to comment and to share with your family and friends the great things that God is doing in your heart through these messages.